This is a severe weather episode of Wycel. Please heed the advice of authorities in your area and have more than one way to receive weather alerts. What you can expect live is produced by D-Weather and is presented by Snowscapes.
All right, good morning. Friday. It's going to be a busy day. It's going to be a busy weekend. Snowscapes presenting Wycel all month long. Tree work, tree maintenance, things like that. Snowscapes is the only place we recommend. We've used them. We know them. We love them. Ask around. They have plenty of references. A great family-owned local business. Any kind of tree work. Routine stuff to complex stuff, dangerous stuff, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the size of the tree. They have the equipment for it. They have the experience for it. They have the knowledge for it. Again, check their references. Everyone's going to talk great things about them. Snowscapes. So thanks to Andy and Katie and Snowscapes for sponsoring Wycel. There is a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk about it. First of all, our forecast. We get to 60 today. We get to the low 60s tomorrow. We get very close to 70 on Sunday. And we have some chance for that's when the severe weather arrives for us. We're gonna break it all down. Timelines today, tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday. It arrives in our area on Sunday, not as tornadoes, but as strong gusty winds initially, and then some strong straight line winds possible, some strong thunderstorms, and maybe some heavy downpours for us. Damaging winds will be the biggest risk. For the rest of the country, starting this afternoon and lasting through the night and through tomorrow and through tomorrow night, much, 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 much worse. Unfortunately, this is one of those situations where it could be a absolutely historic event. It just doesn't look like it's getting any better, frankly. Conditions set up, we're going to talk about it, but the setup up in the upper atmosphere and the way things are setting up looks like it's going to be absolutely horrendous. Even tomorrow being worse than today, and today's going to be pretty bad. Again, your forecast, 60 today, low 60s tomorrow, and then Sunday we'll get up towards 70. We might even get into the low 70s on Sunday. Lows tonight around 40, lows tomorrow night around 50, lows Sunday night around 45-ish on Friday night. Okay, look, this is the Storm Prediction Center's guidance for today. If you've been watching Wycel all week, you can see that this area has progressively gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and more expansive and more severe. And it had that theme, that trend has continued through this morning. An hour, 2 hours ago, they issued a more expansive area for today's threat guidance, and it is this. It is a huge area, and the highest risk, the 4 out of 5 risk, is even more expansive. So it's just crazy. This is the 4 out of 5 level. The red area, this will be a 3. The dark green will be a 2. I'm sorry, the yellow will be a 2, and then the dark green is a 1. Let me do that again for you. 1, 2, 3, and then a 4 out of 5. I'm going to tell you right now that I would not be one bit surprised if at some point today we see out of 5 out of 5 for a portion of that area. I've been talking about this since this is like our new saying. We've been talking about this since last week. We've been talking about this since last week. The first mention of this, we mentioned it last week, saying, boy, everything's setting up out west. And we're talking farther from the Gulf of Alaska. In fact, somebody was here, the people that donate this HQ to us, was in here the other day, and I was showing him like eastern Russia, and that is where this came from. And we didn't talk about it because there's way too much other stuff to talk about. But we've been watching it since last week. I talked about it. I said this is going to be a bad, bad scenario. The guidance has been catching up with us, with what we've been telling you. 2 days ago, we talked about this exact area being under a very high risk. And yesterday they actually caught up to us. Today they expanded it to better fit what we've been saying. But this is not about us. We're going to break this down into pretty precise detail today, in specific areas. And again, not hyping this. If you've been a follower of the weather for any length of time, we don't hype things, but we do try to warn you. And sometimes that involves giving you pretty detailed information and explaining it with specificity so you know what you can expect. That's why it's called Wycel, what you can expect. We try to tell you what to expect. I'm a little flabbergasted today because I've been working on setting this up for today to show you everything. And everything I look at, every time I look at it, it just seems like it's worse. The setup is worse. And I'll try and show you that, but I don't know if I want to show you that because that's not what we need to focus on today. What we need to focus on today is the threat areas, the areas that are most likely going to see the greatest impacts today. So this is I don't even know if we can see that. Let me zoom out a little bit. This is the United States. And these are current warnings and watches that we have going on. These little green areas down here are little flood areas. Nothing to be... What I want to show you is this. And this is going to be the Storm Prediction Center's area. This is for today. Look how large that area is. That is an absolutely massive... hold on a second. Let me get back here. That is an absolutely massive, massive area. It's huge, huge, but not simply. Sorry, I'm all out of sorts today. Not just this general area under threat today, but the 4 out of 5 area, the greatest area, the orange area being the 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5, and dark green being 1 out of 5. I tell you this all the time. Do not pay too much attention to the areas, the colors in terms of where you are. When you see these oranges, oh, I moved that around, but I'll show you why in a second. When you see these oranges and you see these reds, do not pay too much heedance to those. If the colors, that is. If you're anywhere in any of those colored areas, you need to be absolutely mindful today that you are under threat. You have the risk of severe weather today. These are areas that are... we don't often see severe areas this large. I mean, we do, but not very common. They happen. We do not often see 4 out of 5 areas, and this was predicted days in advance by us, and eventually yesterday by the Storm Prediction Center. We don't often see an area that expansive, or the 3 out of 5, the orange, or the 2 out of 5, the yellow. We don't see that very common. It happens several times a season, but not often. What's more alarming is the consensus among the weather models. If you look at weather models, if you've looked at us as we explain weather models are seldom ever in agreement. Every model runs different mathematical formulas to figure out what they think the weather's going to do. And when they do that, they are seldom ever in agreement. They just don't agree. Except this time. Virtually every single weather model, not just the ones we typically look at, the GFS, the NAM, all those things, the European, the Canadian, all those things that we typically look at and that people typically look at. If you look at a winter storm, a hurricane, a thunderstorm system, a line of storms, they seldom ever agree. But I'm going to run through the models here with you right now, and I want to show you the different models because they're virtually identical. When it comes down to the brass tacks of things, they're virtually identical. So this is right now. I just want to fast forward this right way to the system, okay? This is later this afternoon getting into this evening. That is the American model. That is the European model. That is the Canadian model. That is the NavGem model, which doesn't show intensity of precipitation, just shows the systems. This is the Icon. This is the JMA, which we never, ever, ever show you. Ever show you. But let's go to this, friends. We're going to go to the vortices, the energy, okay? That is the JMA. That's the Icon. That's the NavGem. And this is indicated there, that energy line by this, the colder air, the more mild air. This is the Canadian model. We're going to go back to the vortices here. There's the Canadian model. There's the GFS. Look at the difference. There's the Canadian. There's the GFS. There's the European. Do you see a difference? Look at these. Look at these, friends. Look, let's do it this way. This is the European. Here's the line. I know you can't see it very well. It's a red line, right? So let's go to this and we'll show you the red line. There's the red line, okay? Let's go back to the vortice map. This is the energy in the atmosphere. The darker the reds, the more energy. So that is the European model. That's the American model. That's the Canadian model. Do you see a difference? The answer is no. No, you don't. You do not see a difference because there is virtually zero difference in the models. The models are in utter agreement. Oh, it is a scary situation. It just is. And I've been talking about this since last week. And as we have gone through the week, we've talked about it more and more. And getting more and more certain that this is just going to be an absolutely potentially horrific event. It looked like today was going to be the bad day, and today's going to be bad. Don't misunderstand me. Today, this evening, tonight is going to be horrible. Tomorrow looks even worse now. I don't think I ever get really like shaken when I forecast anything, severe weather especially. I don't really shaken. It gets my attention, and I try to convey that information to you. But every time I look at this, starting last night and through the night and this morning and the last couple of times before we did Wycel, it's disturbing. It has shaken me. This system has shaken me. Let's get to it. Let's talk about why. This is what I want to show you. Let's go to the national view again. Let me center it for you. This is the national view. This is the Storm Prediction Center guidance for today. This is the Storm Prediction Center guidance for tomorrow. Today, tomorrow. Friends, that's a large area. Here is my biggest concern for tomorrow. So we have, just as we had for today, with this expansive area, we have, again, 1, the yellow 2, the orange 3, the red being 4 out of 5. At some point today, I would not be shocked at all if we were to see a 5 out of 5 for Alabama, parts of Alabama, and parts of Mississippi and even southeastern Arkansas. If we zoom in on this, friends, this area here, this is for tomorrow. I personally would give this a 5 out of 5. I don't see how they don't. I mean, it's likelihood, right? The likelihood to see it. I don't know how they avoid it. I just don't know how they avoid it. This is going to be a large area, friends, and I want to zoom on these so you can see in specificity. If you live here, if you have friends or family in there, we're talking from Florence, Rogersville, Athens, Huntsville, Alabama, down through Birmingham, all the way to the coast. So we're talking from Panama City, west through Destin, through Pensacola, through Gulf Shores, Pascagoula, Gulfport, Waveland, Slidell, New Orleans, all the way west to Baton Rouge, and almost to Alexandria and Lafayette. This is a huge area. This includes Jackson. This is millions of people, friends. And then if we expand this out to, sorry, I know what I'm saying right now. If we expand this out through the entire area, it is a millions and millions of people, hundreds of thousands of miles of square miles of threat area. It is simply just a worst case. I don't know if it's a worst case scenario, but it's pretty fucking close to a worst case scenario. It is just everything in the atmosphere is just, it just wants to fire up. It's going to fire up. The elements that we were uncertain of that we talked about earlier in this week, let me get rid of that quick. The energy, let me go through. This is tomorrow. There we go. The stuff we talked about to break this down to what needed to happen for this to occur for a bad outbreak, the worst scenario, if you will, would be the energy meeting moisture and pulling up Gulf moisture. Well, the upper levels of our atmosphere are juiced and they are strong and they are going to pull in ample moisture. And when we get that, that is when we get the severe weather. Again, look at me. That is tomorrow. That is not today. That is tomorrow. I just want to have you keep that in mind, that as we talk about today and how bad things are going to be today, tomorrow is going to be just as bad, if not, I think, worse than what we see this afternoon, this evening, and overnight tonight. And that threat moves to the east tomorrow, overnight tomorrow night, into Sunday as it moves off the coast Sunday, late Sunday. All threats are in play. We have the opportunity for just straight line, strong damaging winds. That is today. We have the threat today for strong winds, just not tornadoes, just strong winds ahead of the line of storms, ahead of the system. Straight line winds, which can be just as bad and damaging and life-threatening as they can be damaging and life-threatening as well. Very strong downbursts, microbursts, if you will, straight line winds. They cause damage that is similar to tornadic damage if you were just to look at it without analyzing where the debris field is and all that. They can cause damage to structures, cause damage to vegetation, utilities, power lines. Just as bad. Large hail, we talked about this yesterday. Widespread marble-sized, golf ball-sized hail. We're going to have areas of baseball-sized and larger hail today. We talked about that yesterday. Large, very large hail is possible. I wouldn't be surprised if we see softball/grapefruit-sized hail in some places today, overnight tonight, even tomorrow, especially tomorrow. I think we are going to see some very strong tornadoes, EF2, EF3. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a random EF4 plus. God, I don't want to see an EF3 or 4. I don't want to see tornadoes, but I especially don't want to see an EF3, EF4, or EF5 tornado. I think we could see it. I don't think it's going to be a lot of those level of tornadoes, but I think the elements are in play. I think we can absolutely see it. And then we have all other threats that we're going to talk about too, besides the winds, the hail, and the tornado threat. There's going to be a threat for flooding. We've been talking about this all week. And finally, it seems like the National Weather Service and other people are starting to talk about the flood risk. The flood risk is going to be an expansive area and a very real threat as well. In fact, I think more people are going to experience flooding than will experience a tornado. We'll talk about all of that. Let's get to this right now. So this, friends, is today. And this is, again, that same area that shows the 4 out of 5 risk, the red, the orange being 3 out of 5, the yellow being 2 out of 5, the dark green being 1 out of 5, and a chance in the light green. Listen, if you're anywhere in those colors, ignore the colors. If you're anywhere inside... If you are anywhere inside here, you need to be vigilant today. Anywhere inside that red circle-ish thing, that red outline, you need to be vigilant today. You must be vigilant today. Things are going to deteriorate late this afternoon. We're going to have most of the tornadoes will be overnight tornadoes tonight, nocturnal tornadoes. You're not going to see them coming. You may hear them. Hope to God you hear them. Have your weather sources ready. Listen to local authorities. Listen to your local weather service. Have more than one way to get weather alerts. If you have a weather radio, have it on. Get weather apps on your phone. Turn them on. Turn on the NOAA weather alerts, National Weather Service alerts on your phone. They're free. Make sure you have them active and working. If you have a weather radio, make sure it's on today. You're, again, not trying to scare anybody, but I need you to be prepared for this. You need to be prepared for this. Right now, you need to make your plans. If a tornado is coming your way today, tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday morning, you need to know what you're going to do right now. Your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your kids, whoever's with you needs to know what you need to do before it happens. Right now is when you start needing to prep. Are you going to your bathroom? Are you going to your basement? Do you have a storm shelter? If you don't have a storm shelter, if you don't have a basement, get to the innermost room of your house. Get as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible. If your kids play baseball or softball or hockey or lacrosse and they have a helmet, put a helmet on your kids. Protect their heads. If you have something to cover your head with, protect your head with, protect your head. Get as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible. If you have a basement, get in your basement. If you have a storm shelter, get in your fucking storm shelter. And listen, while we're talking about storm shelters, politicians, while you're all bickering over shit right now, can we just come together? Local politicians, county politicians, state politicians, federal politicians. If somebody's building a home in the Dixie Alley, Tornado Alley, the traditional Tornado Alley, in the plains, the upper plains, the Ohio Valley, the southern or the Mississippi Valley, anywhere where tornadoes are common, tornado shelters or basements or a strong room should be required in your building code. It should be required. Listen, I know people can't afford homes, so they get mobile homes, which are just horrible in tornadoes because they just can't stand up to tornado winds. But you can dictate they get a storm shelter. You can dictate that they dig a hole in the ground and put some kind of device in there, be it metal or be it anchored metal or be it concrete or something on their property. If you are going to build a home in areas that are prone to tornadoes, your local authority, and I'm not for government telling you what to do at all, but they should dictate you have a tornado shelter, a storm shelter. And if they don't, you should be smart enough to do it. You don't have to dig a hole in the ground either. You can just fortify the innermost room in your house. Do that. Put extra 2x4s in. Instead of spacing them out every 18 inches, space them every 6 inches. And fortify that wall, those walls, that room. Anchor them down. Pin them down. All right, I'll get off my soapbox now. Look, let's talk about this. This is the area. Again, if you're anywhere inside this red outlined area, you need to pay heedance today. You must today. Let's go through, excuse me. Let's go through today's threats, specifically through today's threats. And again, brought to you by Snowscapes. Thanks to Andy, Katie, and Snowscapes. This is the general area today, threat area today. As alarming as that is, it's going to get more alarming. This, friends, is the tornado area threat today. This is the tornado threat today. This is the general threat. That's the general storm threat today, severe weather threat today. That's the tornado threat. Look at that. That's a huge area. That is the tornado threat. But wait, it gets worse. Now listen, remember now, we are talking about a large area and a high potential. This is the hail threat for today. Hail. That's the hail threat, including that hatched area. This is the hatched area right here for particularly large hail. That's where we're talking about the baseball-sized hail, maybe the grapefruit-sized hail in this area, the reds and the yellow in this hatched area right here. But hold on, it gets worse because friends, we've been talking about the winds, right? We've been talking about the wind threats with this system, ahead of the system and with the system. These very strong winds, 70, 80 plus mile an hour winds, not tornadoes, not straight line winds. I'm talking about just wind. 70 plus ish miles an hour, gusting. Maybe 80 plus miles an hour, gusting. Let me show you the area that is under threat for that. Now look, remember we're talking the dark green is 1 out of 5. The yellow is 2 out of 5. The orange is 3 out of 5. The red is 4 out of 5, right? The likelihood. Friends, this is the wind threat today. Yes, that purple is a 5 out of 5, and yes, that purple is a hatched area, meaning there's a risk of particularly strong winds. A 5 out of 5. Look, let's go to this one here. Let's show you the national map here. This is today, okay? This is going to be the tornado threat area. Well, yeah, there we go. The tornado threat area. Again, yellow and red completely hatched, meaning that there's a chance for a particularly strong tornado, EF3 or stronger, and long lasting, not just one that forms and quickly dissipates and vanishes and goes away. That's not this. That hatched area, you could see an EF2, 3, or more stronger tornado, and it could be on the ground for miles. Miles. That is the tornado threat. This is the hail threat today. And again, a very large hatched area. And the possibly, to me, the most shocking one is the winds. The damaging, very strong winds. And look at the hatched area. That, I know I keep saying it, but that is a huge area. And the hatched area is huge for particularly strong, damaging winds. I cannot tell you, I cannot emphasize enough, if you are anywhere in, give me a second please. If you're anywhere in that colored area, the light green, the dark green, the yellow, the orange, and red, you need to be weather aware today. You need to be on your toes. You need to have your guard up. You need to be ready. Look, most of this stuff is not going to arrive until late this afternoon, into the evening, and after dark. Most of the tornadoes that occur are going to be after dark, overnight, which is the worst possible time for them to happen. Be weather aware. Be vigilant. Don't let your guard down. Don't think it's just weather people hyping it. This is not hype. And listen, I've seen a lot of posts. Everyone has started talking about this. Everyone has started talking about this. This is a real threat. I know normally they hype the fuck out of things. I don't think you can overhype this. This is a dangerous, multi-day, multi-state threat. That's just today. We're going to get into tomorrow right now. Before we do, I want to do this. Well, I guess before we do that, we should probably just show you the forecast. Because there are people here that are for the forecast. There's your forecast today. 60s today. Low 60s tomorrow. Around 70 on Sunday. And that's when we start seeing the severe weather threat. It won't be a tornado threat for us. It will be a strong, damaging, possibly straight line wind event for us. Some strong thunderstorms are possible. Some heavy downpours are possible. Wind is going to be our biggest threat. Ahead of the system, we'll start seeing winds pick up through the day on Sunday. And then as the systems arrive, we'll start seeing that threat for some damaging straight line winds and wind gusts and those things. Not a tornado threat for us. We may see some hail, perhaps, but it won't be large hail. Okay, that is that is your forecast for those of you who are here for the forecast. Right there, 60 today, low 60s tomorrow. We might get a spritz overnight tonight and tomorrow morning, but it'll quickly go away. And okay, and then Sunday we're gonna see chance for showers ahead of the system. Winds will pick up. It's gonna get quite windy, and we have a chance of severe weather with those as the system moves through on Sunday. So, if you're wondering, it will arrive in our area Sunday, later on Sunday. But again, we'll talk about that too. Let's get to day 2. That's your forecast. This was day 1. This is today. That's today, right now. So before we move to day 2 tomorrow, I want to go in on these areas because you may have family in these areas. And in fact, I know some of you do. We have fans in some of these areas. So this is what I would like to do today. I would like to pinpoint, give some specificity as to the areas under the greatest threat. Now look, and again, if you're anywhere in these areas, whether it's light green, dark green, yellow, orange, red, blue, purple, it doesn't matter. You need to be weather aware today. It could happen anywhere. But I want to go through this and I want to name some names. We are going in here. This is Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis is in this. We go up to St. Louis. St. Louis is in this. As far north as Carrollton and Jerseyville in Missouri. We are going into Kentucky, friends. Here's Mayfield. Remember Mayfield? Mayfield is in this risk. Clarksville is in this risk. Again, Memphis down to as far south as New Albany and Boonville and Ripley and Holly Springs. We're going to go to the northwest. We're going to go to Rolla, very close to the, in the Missouri border into Rolla. Union, O'Fallon, St. Charles, all of the suburbs of St. Louis. All of the suburbs of Jackson, of Memphis, of Holly Springs, to Boonville, all the way up to Savannah and Clifton and Linden and Lowville and Waverly and Dover. Then we go into Clarksville and we go all the way east to Cookeville. This is just today. This is just today. This is not for everyone going through. Having said that, let's go to tomorrow now. And again, I think tomorrow could wind up being worse than today and tonight, unfortunately. That is tomorrow, with the greatest threat being eastern, right along the Gulf Coast, eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the panhandle of Florida. And then going a little further north. But again, anywhere in these areas, red, orange, yellow, light green, dark green, doesn't matter. If you're in any of these areas, you need to be weather aware. You need to be extremely vigilant. You need to pay attention. You need to have multiple sources for weather alerts. Listen to your local authorities. Listen to your local meteorologists. Listen to them. Heed their advice. Heed their warnings. And have your plan now, right now. Make your plan for what you're going to do if you get a tornado warning. But don't wait for a tornado warning. If you get a severe thunderstorm warning in your area, I would just get ready, just in case. I wouldn't wait for the tornado warning. If you get a severe a severe thunderstorm warning today, tonight, tomorrow night, Sunday morning, I would just activate my plan, get to the innermost room of my house, get to my basement, get to my storm shelter, get somewhere safe, put helmets on the kids, cover yourselves with blankets, cover yourselves with a fucking mattress for that matter. Take the mattress off the bed and put it over your kids. Tornadoes are going to happen overnight. You're not going to see them. You're not going to get much warning. Some of these are going to go unwarned. Some of the tornadoes through this entire event, starting this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow night, into Sunday, some of them are going to be unwarned. So when you get a severe thunderstorm warning in your area, anywhere in these areas, particularly the yellow, the oranges, and the reds, just assume it's a tornado warning and get to your safe place. Don't wait. Don't wait. So, friends, this is that is not. This is tomorrow. Here's our threats for tomorrow. A massive area going up into Ontario and Quebec all the way down to the Gulf. 4 out of 5 and 3 out of 5. Yellow 2 out of 5. Dark green being 1 out of 5. Okay. But again, if you're anywhere in here, just be weather aware. Just get ready. Brace yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Have your plan ready. All right, that's today. This is the tornado threat. I'm sorry, tomorrow. This is the tornado threat for tomorrow, the tornado area for tomorrow. This is the general area. This is the tornado threat for tomorrow. And look at the hatched area. Again, a massive area. The yellow and red, some of the brown. Oops, I don't know why it does that sometimes. This area here, give me a second here. Andy, I love you, but I'm going to move Snowscapes for a second. That is the area, and that's a hatched area, meaning you are going to see a potentially strong tornado. But again, outside the yellow and red, you can see it too. The brown, you could see it. The green, you could see it. Hell, for that matter, you could see it outside the colored areas. You could see it out here. You could see it up here. You could see it over here. Do not put your guard down. Be smart. Pretend like you don't live in Palmerton. Be smart. Be aware. Just be smart. Turn on whatever weather sources you have locally. Turn on your weather radios. Download the apps for your phones right now. Download the apps for your phones right now. Your weather alert apps. There's NOAA. There's the National Weather Service. There's a ton of them. If your local county has an EMA app, download it. If your city has an emergency management app, download it. If you're in a community that has community alerts, download those apps. They're all free. This is the tornado threat that you're looking at for tomorrow. And again, brace yourselves here. This is the hail threat for tomorrow. Look how expansive that is. That is the tornado threat. That is the hail threat. What you're going to notice there is you have some reds, a little bit of yellow, and some brown and some green. But when we get to the hail threat, look how large that area is. This is tomorrow, friends. Tomorrow. And then again, the winds. That's the winds for tomorrow. This is the entire region for tomorrow under threat. That's the winds. Excuse me. That's the hail. That's the tornado for tomorrow. Tomorrow. Look, I'm telling you, I really, really, unfortunately think we're going to see a 5 out of 5 area. Maybe we already should, frankly. But listen, if you are in the whoopsie daisies, sorry. If you're in here, if you're in here, just assume you're going to see a tornado. If you're, let's do it this way. Oh, sorry, I keep messing this up. If you are inside this area, just assume you're going to see a tornado. Just assume it. And if you're up here, yeah, you got a pretty good chance too. This is one of those situations where if you're in a warned area, if you're anywhere in the colored areas, or even if you're outside the colored areas, but you're within 50 or 100 miles of the colored areas, but you're in the white, just assume you're going to have severe weather. Because you're going to, most likely. Will you see a tornado? Don't know. But you certainly could. The risk is going to be so high. Tonight, tomorrow night, into Sunday. And then as we get into Sunday, this is the threat for Sunday. And unless you're from Palmerton, you can see that that includes our area. Our area is under. No, it's not a 4 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5, but it's a 2 out of 5, which is a pretty damn good chance, quite frankly. Not for tornadoes. I don't think we are going to see tornadoes. I do think we'll see damaging winds. I think we could see some small hail, but wind is going to be the issue for us, especially now. Look, and the faster these storms move through our area, the stronger the storms move, the stronger the winds will be. So if these storms are clipping along at a pretty good speed, the stronger those winds are going to be for us, the better chance we have of seeing those straight line winds. Let's talk about the flood risk. Again, this is the tornado threat for today. I want to go through here and show you, as soon as I can find it. This is the excessive rainfall for today. This is where potentially flooding rains could occur today. This is going from Mississippi, West Tennessee, Western Kentucky, up through all of Illinois, virtually all of Indiana, eastern Missouri, even eastern Arkansas, back through northeastern Louisiana, for the likelihood or the possibility of, pardon me, of man, excessive sneezes, excessive rainfall for today. We can take that through tomorrow. It obviously shifts to the east, but look at the change, friends. This is day one today. All green, right? Look at the yellow area. That's no yellow, and those are in the areas that I circled 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Today's Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, we circled this area, and we've been talking about the flood thing since last week, and we've been emphasizing the flood risk all week. Excuse me, I gotta blow my nose, but I can't without going somewhere to get a tissue, and I don't want to get up. So this, and this has been my. I mean, look, we have a lot to be concerned about with potentiality of things. But I am really, 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 really worried about our friends. Not just where we have been deployed to before, but our friends in Appalachia who have just had enough. They don't need any more. God, that was a horrible, horrible drawing, Peter. I am really worried about our friends in Appalachia. Western North Carolina. I'm really worried about our friends in East Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, our friends in Kentucky. Like, they don't need this. Not that anybody does. But this flood threat is going to go back down into Mississippi and Alabama, Georgia. You can see it on the map there. It's just an expansive area. As we did for the tornado risk, I would like to name out some towns here because, again, we have a lot of friends down there. We have a lot of people we've come to know down there, and I know a lot of you are down there, living there, watching this. And you have friends and family. A lot of spring breaks going on right now. Not everyone's at the beaches. Some people go to the Smokies. They rent cabins in the mountains for spring break. God, if you've got kids or relatives or anybody who is talking about the spring break plans and they are already here or heading there, most likely they're already there, you need to give them a heads up today. Anyway, any of your friends or family or kids that are on the Gulf Coast, I don't care if they're on the Texas Gulf Coast, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, you need to give them a warning. And they just need to be aware. Don't scare them, but frighten them. You know what I'm saying? Don't scare them like oh my God, but frighten them enough that they're going to pay attention to things. And maybe give them some advice too. So here we go. Look, we're all the way down here. No, this is tomorrow, right? This is tomorrow. So we're in New Orleans, we're in Gulfport, Pascagoula, Gulf Shores, Pensacola, all of these very, very famous spring break places. Panama City, Destin. Then we go inland. We're going through Montgomery. We're going through Jackson, Meridian, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Grenada, New Albany, Tupelo, Hamilton, Coleman, Gadsden, Anniston. Anniston doesn't like flooding, by the way. I've been there for several FEMA classes, like anti-terrorism bomb classes. It's a great place, but they don't need that. Atlanta, Gainesville, Dalton, Huntsville, Florence, going up into Tennessee, into Winchester, Chattanooga, McMinnville, Nashville, Clarksville, Dresden, Mayfield. Mayfield's in this. Russellville, Bowling Green, all of Bourbon country basically, going up to Elizabethton, Lewistown, north to Cincinnati, Dayton, Greenwood. I mean, these are massively populated areas, all the way up to Toledo, east of Cleveland, down through Wheeling, down through Coal Country, Morgantown, Clarksburg, Parkersburg, Charleston, east down through down I-81 from Stanton to Roanoke, Radford, Whitfield, Bristol, Johnson City, Newport, Asheville, Hendersonville, Maggie Valley, Franklin, Gainesville, down to Atlanta, all the way down to Macon, and again, down through Albany, Georgia, down to Panama City in Florida. This is a huge area with a flood risk. The more mountainous the area, the greater the threat for flooding, which is why we have circled basically the mountainous areas of Appalachia from eastern Ohio down through Kentucky and West Virginia and southwestern, all the places that we've been flooding like the last several months are prone to it again, except the threat's going to move farther south as well into Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia and Florida, the Panhandle. This is not just a threat for tornadoes, friends. This is a threat for all threats. This is a multi-threat system and a multi-day system. Today, tomorrow, Sunday. This is not something that is just going to maybe cause a random tornado. This is something that's going to cause a lot of damage. Not just, and look, areas that don't see tornadoes, that don't see hail, that don't see flooding, can still see damage. There's going to be very, very, very strong winds with this. Very strong winds with this. And those winds in and of themselves are going to cause damage. They're going to produce damage to structures, to vegetation, to power lines. There's your forecast. 60 today, around 40 tonight. Maybe a spritz late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Mid or low 60s tomorrow. Sun will eventually come out. We'll get to the low 50 or around 50 tomorrow night. Sunday we get up towards 70. We'll start seeing the breeze pick up through the day. That's when our area starts seeing the risk of severe weather. The biggest risk for us is just going to be winds. Damaging winds, gusts, straight line winds, maybe some small hail. I don't think we see tornadoes in our area. We could see some flooding in our area. In fact, if we go back to this image and we go to the day 3, we have a very large flood threat on the East Coast, including our entire area, almost all of Pennsylvania. Basically, the more than 3/4 of Pennsylvania are going to be under that flood threat for Sunday. The quicker it moves, the less chance perhaps that we see flooding if it stalls. If it stalls, we're going to see an even greater chance. If it slows down, we'll see a greater chance of the rain. The good news is if it slows down, if the system doesn't zip through very quickly, the damaging wind threat, the wind gusts, the straight line winds, that threat will diminish, but the flood risk will go up because obviously it will rain longer over areas. But on the other side of that, if it moves quickly, we'll see less of a duration of rain. That's not to say we won't see multiple inches of rain. We will in some places. But it won't sit and rain over an area for hours and hours and hours and hours and then finally move. But as it moves quicker, we get stronger winds. So it's a tit for tat. Do you want heavy flooding rains or do you want strong damaging winds? Some places are going to see both. And some places won't see either. But it's a very, 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 very large area. Look, this is the flood threat for Sunday, including our area. This is the flood threat tomorrow, and this is the flood threat today. So we can see it move to the east and expand, right? The West Coast, by the way, I know we haven't talked about it, but California, and I don't care what here's the thing. Look, we're not political here at the weather. We're just not. We don't talk about politics or religion or most of those things here, the divisive things. California is getting fucked right now. And I'm seeing so many ignorant fucking comments from people that are of this political persuasion or that political persuasion saying, that's what they get for voting this way, that's what they get for voting that. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Nobody deserves what they're getting. They didn't deserve the fires. They don't deserve the horrific flooding and thing. California had a tornado yesterday. Tornadoes just don't happen in California. Not frequently. Tornado yesterday. Mudslides, horrific. We've been talking about this week too. All those areas that burn no longer have vegetation to hold the hills up. Ask the people in Appalachia what that's like. When you lose the vegetation, you lose the ability to hold the mountain up. So many mudslides in California right now. Torrential rains. It's gonna last for days. So just keep your political bullshit to yourself. I mean, look, and not you can be political. Be this, be that. I don't care. Believe in that. Believe in this. I don't care. But don't throw something absurd into that situation. Like, well, that's what they get for voting. Fuck you. Frankly, fuck you. But I love you all, ladies. I love you a little bit more. Anyway, that's that. I'll get off my soapbox now. I'm going to go through the comments right now and see if there's any questions that I can try and answer for you. There's your forecast in the meantime. There's a lot of comments. Okay, let's see here. Good morning. Yes, good morning. It's the 14th. Carol says it's the 14th in case nobody knew. Carol, can you tell us where we are too, please? It's the 14th. Oh, it's Pie Day. Hey, it's Pie Day. Go eat some pie. Yeah, fellas. Good morning. Like, comment. Hey, hello, good morning. I've never seen this level of genuine concern by... Oh, yeah. We broke this first, Lori. I'm just saying. we broke this first last week before anybody talked about it. Unfortunately, you nailed it. Yeah, unfortunately. Angry Plankton. Yeah, very, very angry, Mark. Heart sinks with every update. Yeah, it's terrible. It's going to be bad. It's going to be horrific. It's going to be horrific. And there's going to be names that we've heard before we're going to hear again. Unfortunately. We're going to hear those... Sorry. We're going... Hang on a second, folks. Give me a second here. What are we doing right now here? What are we doing? Okay, alright. Okay, so let me show you this here, everybody. The first... What is that one? Alright, so... we'll get back to that in a second. This is a flash flood watch that has the first flash flood watches have just been issued. I swear to God, listen to me. I swear to God, sometimes they watch Wycel. Because I will say something on Wycel, and then like hours later, they will do basically what I just said on Wycel. We just talked about this flood threat for these areas, and we went through and we named some places. So, crazy. Anyway, so they have now added Chattanooga, Winchester, Huntsville, Alberta, Coleman, Hamilton, Fayette, down to Columbus, Mississippi, through Tupelo, Mississippi, Oxford, New Albany, Corinth, up into West Tennessee and Middle-ish Tennessee, Bolivia, Jackson, Parsons, up through Paris, Kentucky, Lawrenceburg, in between. That'll eventually get up there. Then we have special weather statements through Illinois, Indiana, West Virginia, Ohio. Let's see what the special weather statement is actually. God, it's a massive... Oh, okay, that's a fire danger one. The good news is the fires break out today. They're going to go out very quickly later on tonight with the heavy rains coming. Hopefully heavy rains coming. I mean, if they get a fire, that is. But those are all areas we've been to before. We were just there the last couple of weekends. Man. It's crazy. It's just nuts. So we have to get... that ready, and again, there's all the current watches for those areas as we get through. Oh, let's go back to the comments here. Let's go ahead and put your forecast back up so nobody cries about not seeing the forecast. As soon as I can find the forecast, that is, there it is. Where are we at? Heart seems very concerning. Andy, good morning. Sister, wait, what does it say? Carol says, and my sister In the level. Wait, Carol, what? Carol, just make sure she's weather aware. Make sure she has a plan right now. Make sure your sister. Tell your sister she needs to get a plan right now. Don't wait. And tell her what I said before. If she has a severe thunderstorm threat, just treat it like a tornado. I mean, a severe thunderstorm warning. Treat it like a tornado warning. I don't know if that's good advice, but that's what I would do. That's what I would tell my friends and family to do. um, Southern Illinois, you're giving more info than our local station. Well, we try to, Sue. When in events like this, we try to do that. And I know it's a lot of information. I know a lot of you don't give a fuck about the rest of the country. But when we get into events like this, I think it's critical that we do this. Um, that is to say, it's critical that we do these breakdowns like we do. It's important. It's just important. So if you have friends and family in these areas, have them watch Wycel replay. Where are we at here? Let me go ahead and put this area back up here. You should know the forecast by now. Here's the threat level for today, my friends. That is the area for today. That's what we try to do. Yes, exactly right, Tim. Be prepared, sign up. Yep. We need an app. The weather needs an app. Vinny, March and Reflect. Yep. Massive. Yeah. If I had a shed, go boom. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay. Your family's in the bullseye, Christy. Christy, just make sure they're alert. Make sure they're aware. Make sure they have a plan right now. Tell them to treat thunderstorm warnings like tornado warnings. Have them watch the replay of this Wycel. Never ever ask if it can get any worse. Never ask if it can get any worse. And that's not just about weather, that's about anything. Never, never, never attempt whatever. Because, yes, it can always get worse. It feels like April 2011. Not quite. Not quite. Listen, the setup for this event through today and tomorrow and into Sunday, it's very similar to some past years. There's some analog data of very similar setups. But not quite 2011. No one is hyping, even those who normally hype the crap out of everything. Marion, Illinois. All right, Carol, give me a second. Let me find Marion, Illinois for you. Can you give me an idea where Marion is? Can somebody give me an idea where Marion, Illinois is? I know where Marion, Indiana is, but I don't know if I know where Marion, Illinois is. Let me see if I can find it. Anybody? Can somebody tell me where a rough idea of where Marion? Who was that? Was that Carol? Carol, where is Marion, Illinois? We can break down Marion, Illinois with a lot of specificity if you can just tell me where it is. And if you're a family member, was it your sister? If she's watching right now, we can break this down for her in great detail. I just need to know where it is exactly. Marion, Illinois. Anybody tell me where Marion, Illinois is, please? I'm looking, but it's like a needle in a haystack here. Somebody give me a landmark. Oops. Someone give me a landmark, please. Southwest of Evansville, northwest I-57 and I-24. Carol, that is good information. I-57 and I-24. I-57 and I-24. Lori said it's southwest of Evansville, northwest of Paducah. Southwest of Evansville, northwest of Paducah. Marion, all right, I got it. Thanks, ladies. That's great information. Interstate references and big city references. There's Marion right here, everybody. So here's your. I don't know what your sister's name is, Carol. Oh shit! I just lost all the comments too. Can I do it this way? Hold on, guys. I want to try and see something here. Okay. So we have near Carbondale. God, I got you. We found it. This is your threat for today. Tomorrow, look, this is tomorrow for whoever that is in Marion. Look, here's Marion right here. You have that threat tomorrow as well. Then finally Sunday, you're no longer in that threat. But you have a high 4 out of 5 chance today. You have a 3 out of 5 chance tomorrow. If we go to the oops, sorry, that's not it. God, I would not want to be in Marion right now. This is a Hatch tornado risk today. So you have a 4 out of 5 chance of seeing particularly strong tornadoes, EF2, EF3 plus. Uh, the hail threat is crazy. A hatched area, so you can see particularly large hail, baseball sized or larger hail. And then the wind threat is going to be out of this world. You have a really good chance. Again, as I've been saying all week, even without the tornadoes and the hail and the rains and all that, you're going to see strong winds. You're going to see wind gusts of 70 ish, 80 ish miles an hour. Straight line winds that will cause damage. You have a chance of that. Here's Marion right here. And then we go into tomorrow, and you have a 3 out of 5 chance of seeing it tomorrow, too, with the winds. The hail threat for you tomorrow, same thing. If we go to excessive rainfall for today, you have a chance for some flooding today. Only you have a chance of flooding today. You have a chance of flooding tomorrow, and that threat goes away on Sunday. So if you're in Marion, just be aware, be careful. Let's go back into Marion here real quick. I'm gonna lose it, aren't I? Hold on, give me a second. I gotta reacquaint myself with the map here. There we go. Marion. Yes. So just be very very careful. Just be look whoever that is, whatever your name is. First of all, welcome to the weather. Secondly, if you get if I were you, if you were my family, if you were my loved one, I would tell you what I've been saying all episode today. Treat a severe thunderstorm warning like a tornado warning. Treat a severe thunderstorm warning like a tornado warning. Only because, well, first of all, tornadoes are going to come from severe thunderstorms, but there's going to be a lot of activity. And it's going to be very tricky as the winds get intense. We get straight line things, and we get heavy rains and hail that are going to affect radar recognition. You may not get a warning before the tornado happens. And again, for your area, you're going to see these mostly after dark and overnight tonight. Just be really freaking careful. Have your plan. Sit down right now after this Wycel is over, and after you share it and like it and comment. Make your plan. Have your plan ready. Whoever lives with you, spread it with your neighbors too. Maybe your community has a Facebook page. Tell them to be ready. Tell them this is not hype. This is not a joke. This is a real situation. Not just today, but for you as well tomorrow. Just be really careful and just be smart, as smart as you can be. And again, look, treat thunderstorm warnings like tornado warnings today, tonight, tomorrow. Just err on the side of caution. Make your plans. Have your plans ready. And if you're that person in Marion, you can ignore what I'm about to show you because this does not pertain to you. This is our local forecast here in the Lehigh Valley. 60 today, low 60s tomorrow, near 70s tomorrow. We might sneak into the 70s on Sunday. And again, breezes pick up and all that. Don't think we'll see tornadoes. Don't think most of us will see hail, but we could. Hail is a possibility. Straight line winds and damaging winds are going to be the biggest threat, along with some localized flooding for us. Let's go. I lost the comments, so I got to go back through them again. Give me a second. Let's see. My family is in southeast Missouri. Christy, same thing. Everything I just said. Tell them to treat severe thunderstorm warnings as if they were tornado warnings. Be smart. Have their plans right now. If you don't have helmets, use pots from the kitchen. I don't know if I agree with that, but okay. Okay, let's just go through this here. If you're going to use a pot to protect your head, I know it's better than nothing, they say. It's not necessarily better than nothing. Helmets have padding, they absorb the blow. A metal helmet on your head with no padding is not really going to help you. It, in fact, may intensify the effect. Because, again, there's no padding on a pot. If you're going to put a pot on your head, put a tea towel or something inside of it first. Put some kind of layer of cushion in there. A metal pot, and I know I've seen a very famous douchebag weather person often say put a helmet on your head. I do not agree with that whatsoever. Because again, a pot, the reason a helmet protects you, not just because it has a hard shell, it's got padding. It absorbs the blow. It's like a crumple zone in a car. Use a helmet. Don't use a pot. Unless you've got a padded pot, I wouldn't use it. I just wouldn't. It's not going to help you. In fact, again, it could intensify the effect. Just saying. You can do what you want to do. I wouldn't put a pot on my head. Do I agree with the high wind potential? Yes, 1,000%. Thomas, have you been paying attention, buddy? Yes, high winds, absolutely. That's our biggest threat here in the Lehigh Valley, and that'll be Sunday. Has the monitor... No, it hasn't, Tim. No, it hasn't. She's watching now. Okay, hi, she. Yeah, that was good information. The interstate intersection and the southwest Evansville and south or northwest of Paducah. That was great information. Carbondale really wouldn't have helped me much. I would have been looking in like Schuylkill County, Carbondale. I'd be like, wait a minute. Southern Isle, Southern Illinois. Carol, you're welcome. All right, let's end this, I guess. Before we do that, let's do this.
This has been a severe weather episode of Wycel. What you can expect live is produced by D-Weather and is presented by Snowscapes. For more information on severe weather and severe weather preparedness, please follow D-Weather Cares on social media.
All right, so that is... I just feel like sometimes when we do these severe weather things, we need to kind of identify them. Because sometimes I'll forget to give you information, so it's really good if you get that information, you put that in. Lori, not misinformation. It's not misinformation. It's not your misinformation. I know who you watch on YouTube, and I know what they say. They just giving you bad information. That's all. It's not that you didn't create that idea. That's douchebags giving bad information. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Fuck those douchebags. All right, listen, that is it. I love you all, ladies. I love you a little bit more. Again, thank you to... Oh, let me get this over here real quick. Thank you to... Sorry. Thank you again to Snowscapes for sponsoring Wycel. I'm going to just tell you right now, I'll be completely honest with you. If Snowscapes wasn't sponsoring Wycels this month, I would not be doing Wycels every day. I just wouldn't be. I have way too much. Tim Grube was here yesterday. We were talking about stuff and working on some stuff and discussing some things. And he'll tell you, I just don't have the time to do everything that I'm doing or the means or the resources for that matter. So if Snowscapes wasn't sponsoring Wycel, we just wouldn't be doing Wycels every day. And when we get the severe weather events, it's pretty critical that we do the Wycels. So thanks to them for sponsoring Wycel. If you need tree work, that's who you go to. Snowscapes, Andy, Katie, great people. Check the references. You won't get any bad information. Speaking of Tim being here yesterday, Tim, how's the sound today? Everybody, how is the sound today? Is the sound good? We discovered something yesterday that I wasn't aware of, and we rectified it in regards to the sound. Also, yes, so we're going to, when I say we, I mean Tim, we're going to start uploading every episode of Wycel to YouTube. So after Wycel is done, at some point that day, it's going to get uploaded to YouTube. So this episode of Wycel, if you're not watching it live, is going to get uploaded to the Weather Center YouTube page. So go find the Weather Center on YouTube. It's youtube.com/@theweathercenter, all one word. Subscribe, watch the videos, share the videos, comment on the videos. It helps the algorithm and all that. But we're going to start transitioning the Wycels after we do them live on Facebook to YouTube. And I think we're going to start doing some lives on YouTube as well. Okay? That's all I have for you. I love you all, ladies. I love you a little bit more. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else. I don't see any other questions in the comments. So thank you guys very, very much. As things happen today, we're going to monitor them. We'll do what we always do during severe weather events. We'll monitor the outbreak. We will assess damage. Then we will determine needs, and we will see if there's a need for us to go. We're probably going to start asking you to make donations to us on Venmo to help pay for whatever trip. We're going somewhere. We might be going to multiple places. That's a given. I just don't know where yet. So if you'd like to support it, it's at the weather on Venmo. At the weather on Venmo, we could use it. The audio was great, except two small hookups where you sounded like you were in outer space, which was 2 seconds of. Was that because I was like looking away from the microphone or something, Tim? It might have been, or maybe. Hold on. Well, no, because all the mic settings should be the same. Let me just flip through the mic settings here and see what we got going on. No, we're good. The mic should be all good. So I'm not sure exactly why that was happening. All right. One last time before we get the heck out of here. This is the warned area for today. Make sure you share that with your people. Share it with your loved ones. Share it with whomever. And again, just make sure, if especially any of these areas, frankly, but especially the dark greens, the yellows, and the closer you are to the red, if you get a severe thunderstorm warning at any point over the next 48, 72 hours, treat it like a tornado warning. Treat it like a tornado warning. And right now, have your plan ready. When your kids come home from school today, sit them down, talk to them. Don't scare the shit out of them, but frighten them a little bit, just so they pay attention, they take it seriously. Maybe go to the store today, like early today, and get some snacks and get their favorite drinks, and put them in the safe place. So when there is an event, and God forbid there is, and they need to get to the safe space, there's stuff in there for them that'll make them feel a little more comfortable. Look, I'm not the praying kind, but I will have all of you in these areas in my thoughts all weekend. I'm hoping for the best for all of you, for folks watching this, not watching this, anyone in those areas. I am hoping for you. I'm hoping the worst doesn't realize. If it does, and there's a need, we'll come. Maybe I'll meet you in person. But my thoughts are with you. All right. We'll see you guys at some point tomorrow, maybe earlier. We'll see what happens as this thing transpires. But we'll see you. Excuse me. We'll see you whenever I see you.
This has been a severe weather episode of Wycel. What you can expect live is produced by D-Weather and is presented by Snowscapes. For more information on severe weather and severe weather preparedness, please follow D-Weather Cares on social media.
No. Sorry. Hi, I'm back. Nicole, I just saw your comment. No, I have not, speaking of Plankton, I have not seen the Plankton movie. I don't have Netflix. I didn't realize it was only on Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I don't really watch TV. Keats watched it the other night, though. And I forgot to ask him about it, actually. But yes, I had not seen the Plankton movie because I don't have Netflix. I thought it was on other streaming services too, or it'd be a way I could like download it or something. No, you have to have Netflix. So I have not seen it. I want to. I was so looking forward to it the other night. I can't. I believe Amber fucking hates SpongeBob. But maybe I'll watch it when she falls asleep, or maybe I'll put something in her drink so she falls asleep and I can watch it. No, I don't mean that, Facebook. I don't mean that. But I hope to watch it this weekend somehow, some way. All right. I love you all, ladies. I love you a little bit more. We'll see you at some point. Maybe later today, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. I never wave like that. I don't know why I just waved like that. I never wave like that.